I always used to ask my uncle, why every time you go for the bad guys in the movies? I was like, Uncle Abe, why do you always go for the bad guys in the movies to defeat the good guys? And, I was a real young kid at the time. I was only 6 years old. And it was really mind-boggling to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I almost thought, something was mentally wrong with my uncle. And so my uncle tells me, everything that's put in front of us is in reverse. He told me the TV was a lie. He told me the media is a lie. And he said they send us messages, okay, with the cartoons, TV shows, and certain movies. And he always told me the message is always in reverse. The message is always in reverse. And my Uncle Abe was a member of the Black Panthers, and he was murdered. He was killed in 1997. Yeah, late 1997. Okay, so this is really deep. Okay, today I'm about to get in to the hidden meaning and the hidden message behind the Dragon Ball Z cartoon / saga. Okay, now what we all know about Dragon Ball Z is you have characters known as the Saiyans, and they're fighting against these monstrous beings, okay, that are all looking for the 7 Dragon Balls so they can acquire not only world domination, but galactic domination across the whole galaxy, okay? Because these entities, these physical demons are all about galactic power and achieving immortality by obtaining those 7 Dragon Balls, okay? One thing we have to know and understand is the Saiyans were basically saved by a character by the name of Piccolo and Piccolo's race. Piccolo was a dark green, he was a dark green entity, a dark green being from a planet called Namek. Now, that's very interesting because these dark beings, these dark green beings, are somewhat similar to the beings from a planet called Maldek that were our ancestors known as the Nomos and the Anunnaki, which were so dark their skin shined either green or blue. Okay? If you look at the ancient pictures on Kemetic walls and Kemetic texts, okay, the Anunnaki and the Nomos, they were so dark and heavily melanated that their skin either shined green or blue. So when you look at Piccolo, he resembles that, and his planet is called Namek, which is really similar to Maldek. Now, another interesting thing about Piccolo is his wardrobe and what he wears, okay, with his armor and his turban, he resembles what is known as an Asiatic Moor. Piccolo is an Asiatic Moor. Go look it up. Go look up the Asiatic Moors who civilized all of Asia. That is what Piccolo's race resembles, and that is what they represent. Okay? And they come from the planet Namek, which is really portraying the planet Maldek. Okay? In Dragon Ball Z, that's where you get the 7 Dragon Balls from Piccolo's planet, but that's really personifying the 13 crystal skulls that come from Maldek, okay, that were created by our ancestors, the Nomos and the Anunnaki. Okay, the 13 crystal skulls are really the 7 Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Z. Now, another thing I want to touch on is when you look at this Saiyan race, this race called the Saiyans, okay, the Saiyans. Now, let's look at this etymology. S-A-I-Y-A-N-S. S-A-I-Y-A-N-S. S-A-I means warrior, means created for destruction. Let me repeat. In Japanese language, I believe it is, the prefix S-A-I means created for destruction. Y-A-N means the children, okay, or the boys, created for destruction. That's what the Saiyans mean. That's what that etymology means. So all the Saiyans were created on the planet Maldek for destruction, okay, and to go around the galaxy destroying life forms and to test those entities' loyalty to their created masters. Okay, what is this personifying? This is personifying a certain race on this planet that was created for destruction, and the El Gods created these entities to test the melanated people on this planet. Now, who is that? That is the Caucasian race on this planet. Let me explain. All of the Saiyans, which were the created race for destruction, they all had a tail sticking out of their body, okay, when they were born. And when they grew up, they kept that tail, which tells you that they were created for destruction because they were mixed with God DNA and they were mixed with monkey DNA. Let me repeat. The Saiyans were mixed with God DNA and monkey DNA. So when you look in Europe and India, you see many people being born with tails and animal appendages coming out of their body. All in Europe and in India, because those are the real Saiyans. Those are the real Saiyans. They have the DNA of the Saiyans, of the beings that were created, you see what I'm saying, by gods, mixed with God DNA and ape DNA, God DNA and monkey DNA, melanated DNA and ape DNA, to create havoc on this planet, to test the chosen children on this planet. Now, what a lot of people fail to realize is most of the Saiyans actually ended up being evil in Dragon Ball Z. Because like I said, they had the beast monkey DNA, and then they had the portion of the God DNA through gene splicing. Through gene splicing, people. It all goes back to gene splicing. When you look at every single race that is not pure melanated, okay? And when I say that, I'm talking about anybody who has canine teeth and body hair, okay? When you talk about those individuals, you're talking about individuals who shared Neanderthal DNA on this planet. So anybody who has a bit, even a small portion of Neanderthal DNA on this planet is a form of a Saiyan. Okay? We all have our higher self and our lower self. Now they want you to think that the Saiyans are able to tap into that God energy, that God power, okay? But that is not possible unless the 7 Dragon Balls, which are the 13 crystal skulls, are summoned together, okay? And then you can tap into that energy to achieve godhood, okay? A Saiyan cannot do that naturally because he doesn't have the full God DNA. He's part monkey ape and part God. Let me repeat, part monkey ape and part God. That is what a Saiyan is. Saiyan, S-A-I, the created man, the created one for destruction. The Saiyan. Not a game, not a joke, people. Most of the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z were actually evil. Vegeta, like I said, the character Vegeta, he started out as evil. There was about 3 or 4 more main characters who were Saiyans who were evil. Okay? Let me go ahead and prove this. Majin Buu, Super Buu, Kid Buu, Evil Buu. These individuals were able to imitate and absorb people's power just like the melanin absorbs the energy of its environment. Ladies and gentlemen, those Boos, those Super Boos, Kid Boos, Majin Buu's Evil Buu, that was all personifying melanin. It was all melanin. And they tried to make the melanin into an evil character called Buu. Then, who created the Saiyans? Who created the Saiyans? It was Frieza. It was none other than Frieza, who was a god who was really, really cold, from a really, really cold planet like Saturn. I told people in earlier lectures that the cold energy is demonic energy and the hot energy is really the energy of the gods. The real hell is really cold and the real heaven is really hot. I stated that in my Freddy Krueger lecture, and that is personified in the Dragon Ball Z saga. Okay, the entity that was responsible for creating the Saiyans was Frieza's race. It was Frieza's race. Frieza was basically one of the most powerful villains in the whole Dragon Ball Z saga. And that entity was the Saturnian entity that represents Set, the fallen one, the one with the goddamn horns coming out of its head, who is really, really cold-hearted. Really, really cold-hearted. Frieza. Okay? God of chaos and destruction. So Frieza created the created ones for destruction, which were the Saiyans, to test the chosen melanated people, okay, of Piccolo's race that came from Namek, which really represents Maldek. Time to wake up, people. Time to wake up. The dark green people that were part of Piccolo's race were personifying the original melanated beings that come from Maldek and that come from the Sirius star constellation. That's what Piccolo represents. If you look at what Piccolo wears on his head and the armor he wears, he is nothing but an original Asiatic Moor. He is wearing the uniform of an Asiatic Moor, and he trained the Saiyans who were mixed with his DNA and monkey DNA, you know what I'm saying, the right ways and how to tap into their God energy and how to beat the monkey portion of their DNA. You see what I'm saying? To tap into their God energy and to leave behind their beastly ways. Like I said, the Saiyans were part God and part beast. A beast ape and a god. That's why they still had those tails. That's why they still had that fur and those sharp ass teeth. And when they got angry, you started to see that come out of them, because they would tap into that energy when they were using their lower 6 chakras. Okay? All significant, all personified right in front of our faces. And this was one of the most famous and talked about shows, you see what I'm saying, when I was a younger kid. Okay, everybody knows about Dragon Ball Z. Also, that's funny, they call it Dragon Ball Z. If you look at Z, Z is the last and 26th letter of the alphabet. Z is the 26th letter of the alphabet. 26 gives you 8, which is ruled by the planet Saturn. Just like Frieza. Frieza came from Saturn and was involved in creating these spliced individuals known as the Saiyans from monkey and god DNA. Also, there was a evil doctor who was a villain in Dragon Ball Z, and I forgot what his name was, but he created an android known as Android 17, one of the most powerful androids, artificial entities in existence. And what number was it? It was Android 17, 17, which gives you 8, which means that the Saiyans and the evil entities, the evil warlords in Dragon Ball Z all paid their homage to the fallen one, which was Saturn, which was originally Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. Okay. Also, that evil doctor also created Cell, the artificial entity known as Cell. Now, Cell was what I see as artificial melanin. He tried to make artificial melanin known as Cell, which became very, very powerful, okay, but ended up destroying itself because you can never perfectly replicate pure melanin, okay, without it destroying itself. That is what the global elites are trying to do today by creating CERN. They're trying to create artificial melanin, but it's backfiring on them as we speak. Okay, this is all put in front of us by looking at the Dragon Ball Z saga. This is why the original Dragon Ball Z saga was actually taken off of the air in the early 2000s, I believe. Okay, like I said, it's all in reverse. Most of the Saiyans were evil entities, okay, because they were tapping into their beast monkey DNA instead of their God DNA. Also, when they reached Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 5, their eyes turned blue and their hairs turned blonde to get us to believe that combination represented something of spiritual power, but that is actually something of spiritual wickedness and spiritual separation. Because when your eyes are blue and your hair is blonde, that means your pineal gland is calcified and you cannot tap into that God energy. You cannot tap into that Ether 9 magnetic energy. Okay? So that was a mind fuck to get us to believe that something that's blonde-headed and blue-eyed could be something super, when it's really the opposite. How did the Saiyans start out? That Saiyan started out with black hair and black eyes, dark hair and dark eyes. So in reality, when the Saiyans, which were the Caucasian race, was created, they originally had blue eyes and blonde hair mixed with that monkey DNA. And when they tapped into their God energy, their hair and their eyes actually turned dark. It was the opposite. It was the opposite of what they were portraying in the Dragon Ball Z cartoon. Like I said, and like my uncle told me, it's all in reverse, people. It's all in reverse. The Boos represent melanin. Frieza represents the Saturnian entity that rules this matrix that we live in. Cell is an artificial melanin creation from that evil doctor. Okay? Piccolo and Piccolo's people were the Anunnaki and the Nomos, who were so dark and heavily melanated that their skin shined green and shined blue. And he came, where did Piccolo come from? He came from Namek, which is really Maldek. And that is the planet where the crystal skulls come from. That is also the planet where the Dragon Balls come from in Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. Z is the 26th letter. 2-6 gives you 8, which is Saturn, the Dragon Ball to free you from the Saturnian matrix. Dragon Ball Z. All put in plain sight, right in front of our faces, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I just want everybody to know and understand that no matter who you are or how melanated you are, that doesn't dictate whether you're good, whether you have a light heart or a heavy heart. Because no matter how much melanin we have in our DNA, it is up to us whether we want to choose good or evil. Okay? And what I'm trying to tell people is when your spirit isn't right, your melanin isn't right. Because your melanin is your spirit. Okay? So if you're out here eating bullshit foods, you're out here trying to debate people over meaningless bullshit instead of making your community a better place. You see what I'm saying? You're out here raping people, murdering people for no reason. with a whole bunch of hate and animosity in your heart, that's something wrong with your melanin because of something that's leeching off of your life force, your entity, and causing you to do these wicked things, these you know what I'm saying, these wicked actions. So when I say, you know what I'm saying, your spirit isn't right, you're really saying your melanin isn't right. They're all in one with one another. Okay? So I want people to wake up, detach from the nonsense, start doing your research, and start seeing the hidden messages that are placed in front of us, man. Right in plain sight. As far as RFG movement goes, rfgmovement.com is still in the works. It's still up and running. It's in the process of being built. The last thing that I'm waiting on is for the Hold Harmless to come through, to go through with Google. I'm waiting on Google's approval for my Hold Harmless on rfgmovement.com. It will be up, okay, in the next 10 to 15 days. It will be up. I'm waiting for a confirmation from Google portraying to my Hold Harmless, okay, on my website. Okay, another thing I want to let you guys know is week six in the NFL, week 6 from October 7th to October 16th. Your minds will be blown. Your minds will be blown. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic. Okay? So like I said, RFG movement is almost up and running. I'm just waiting for the confirmation of my Hold Harmless through Google. Okay? It'll be here really, really soon. Stay tuned, people. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the Chosen Man. I'm out.